Hey everyone, in today's tutorial we're going to be making this gorgeous hair bow. These remind me of those I don't know what they're called, those like windmills that blow in the wind in the garden. And yeah, these just remind me of them, but I think these are so pretty. I made mine using satin ribbon because I think that just gives it that extra sort of luxurious look. You can make them with grosgrain ribbon, obviously, it works with that also. But I'm going to be making mine with satin, like I have this one. This one is all cream. The one we're going to be making today is a 3-colour one. The pearl and rhinestone centre, I also made that myself. I will pop a link to the tutorials for bow centres at the end of this video so you can see how you can make your own bow centres as well. And everything that I use in this tutorial I will link in the description below. So yeah, as I said, we're going to be making a 3-colour one this time, and I've chosen these 3 gorgeous pastel colours. You will need 6 pieces of ribbon altogether, 2 in each of your chosen colours. I've gone for lilac, pink and a baby blue for mine, so nice pastel shades. And these ribbons are all the same width and length, so I'll just grab my tape measure to show you. So these are all 1.5 inch wide or 4 centimetre wide ribbon. And all 6 pieces are cut to 20 centimetres in length or just over 7 3/4 inches in length, and that is all 6 pieces. I'm going to take one of each colour now and set them aside to make 1/2 of the bow, and then the other 3 we'll put them aside to use later. I'm going to grab some clips here. These are to hold the ribbon in place whilst we're working on our bow. And then grabbing a lighter, I'm going to heat seal the ends of the ribbon. And what this does is get rid of any frays and prevent any further fraying. You need to do that on all of the ends of your ribbon, all 6 pieces. I'm just doing the 3 for 1/2 for now. And then I'm going to take my pink piece first of all, and you want to fold it in half to find the centre. And I'm just giving it a squeeze with the heat from my finger just to help mark a crease in there. You can use a lighter to mark a crease in your ribbon if you're using grosgrain, but because this is satin it burns quite easily. So yeah, I just use the heat from my fingers, and as you can see I've got a good enough crease in there to work as a guideline. Taking this left side now, I'm going to fold it down diagonally to meet with that crease in the middle. So the edge of the ribbon is in line with that centre crease like that. So it looks like that. And then we're going to fold this left side in again. So grabbing that tightly between my fingers, folding it in again. So we've got the ribbon here coming out from the bottom flush with that inside crease. Next we're going to take this right side and fold it over this diagonal fold here. So folding it over flush with that diagonal. So this top piece of ribbon is now in line all down the sides, down this side as well, it's all in line and it should meet up at the bottom. This is the underside and this is the top. And next we're going to bring this bottom left corner to meet up with this top left point. So grabbing these 2 corners and folding it up directly now so that the corners meet with that point, so that they're all in line. I'm just going to flip it over so you can see now this is actually going to be the front. And then grabbing a clip, keeping it pinched with my thumb and finger, I'm going to pop a clip on all of those layers to hold that in place. I've popped the clip away from this bottom edge just so we've got some space ready to sew the pinch in when it comes to it. So that is one piece now done. So now we need to do our other 2 pieces, and remember these are all for one side of the bow. So taking the lilac piece this time, we are doing the exact same steps as on the pink piece. So I'll show you this one a little bit quicker. So folding it in half, using the warmth of my finger to get a crease in there like that, and then taking the left piece and folding it down diagonally to meet up with that central crease, folding it inwards again toward the right, and then we're making sure that this is all in line at the bottom and the sides. And then bringing the right side now down over diagonally, over that fold, over this fold here. Making sure they're all lined up along the sides, and they should also meet up level at the bottom. Bringing it up, folding it in half to meet those bottom left corner with that top left point. And then flipping it over, and then grabbing a clip to clip that all in place. Now, I won't show you the blue one, I will skip ahead and I'll do this off the screen because you don't need to see how to do all of this one. And then I'll show you how to put all of this bow together. So I've actually done all 6 pieces now, 3 colours for each half of the bow. So this is going to be one half and this is the other half of the bow. Now I'm just going to show you roughly how these slot together quickly. You don't have to do this step right now. I'm just showing you roughly how these all slot into each other. So you've got this corner on the bottom right with the little pocket, and each one is going to slot inside each other. So I'm slotting the lilac inside of the blue and then the pink inside of the lilac. So that is just a rough guide to show you how they go together. But I will show you in more detail now on this half of the bow. So taking my needle, which I have threaded with some strong thread, and I've popped a knot in the end. Decide which order you want these in. So I've already decided I want mine to be blue, then lilac, and then the pink. So we want to take the blue piece first. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew up to the halfway mark, and that's when we add our next piece of ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark a crease in there. You can do it by eye, I do normally do it by eye, but for this tutorial to be really accurate, I will mark a crease in there. So we've got the halfway mark crease just there, so we can use that as a guide. And we're going to start making our stitches across this raw edge. So we're going to go in through this right side first of all, catching all of those layers, pulling it all the way through to the knot. And we're only going to sew up to this centre piece because that is when we add in our next piece of ribbon, which is going to be the lilac. So our second stitch coming up through the bottom about 1 centimetre away from that first stitch we've made. So it's in the middle really of the centre and the first stitch. So that is our second stitch. And before we now make our third stitch, we're going to bring in our lilac piece. So tuck in the lilac piece inside of the blue piece and lining it up halfway. So the point of the purple is in line with that halfway crease we've just made. And then we can go in with our third stitch, and this is going to join both of these layers together. So going in through the purple piece first, catching all of those layers, and then through the centre of that blue piece. Pulling the thread all the way through, don't get stuck around that clip. Pulling it all the way through. So now as you can see, the edges of the blue piece are now central to the lilac piece, so they're in the middle. So our fourth stitch we now need to make in the middle of this centre and the last stitch we made. So coming up through the middle there for our fourth stitch, and our next stitch will take us to the centre of this purple piece, so we have to add in the pink piece now. So again, I'm just going to remove that clip and I'm going to slot in the pink piece now, our last piece for this side. So making sure that the pink corners are in line halfway through the lilac, and they also meet up with the blue pieces at the back. So I'm just making sure they're all evenly spaced at the bottom and the top, so the pink corners just slightly overlap where the blue ones are. So when we may make our fifth stitch, we're going to catch all of those layers. So going in through the top, through the pink pieces first, through the centre of the lilac pieces, and through the last corners of the blue pieces. So that brings now all of those 3 pieces sewn together. So pulling that stitch all the way through, and now in the pink bit we're going to end up with 6 stitches. So we've done 1 already, so now we're going to make 5 more. So this will be the second, third stitch just right of the centre, fourth stitch just left of the centre, and then 5th and 6th coming from the bottom toward the top. So we've got 6 stitches in that top pink piece, and then this is what they all look like. And now we're ready to pull the thread to form that ruched bottom. So pulling on the thread, and once you're happy you've got that nice and tight, keeping it pinched together with my thumb and finger, I'm just going to go through the last few corners of the ribbon a couple of times to make sure that all stays in place. And this is what they look like. So you've got one half of the bow now complete. Continuing now with the same piece of thread, we're going to do the exact same steps on the other 3 pieces in the same order. So the blue first, and this will give us a non-symmetrical bow. So it will go blue, lilac, pink at the bottom this time. You can make it symmetrical if you want to work in a different order by doing the pink first, but I like mine to be non-symmetrical. So yeah, I'm starting with my blue piece again, and I'm following the exact steps as I did with the other 3 pieces. And yeah, I will do this now off the camera and come back and show you how to finish it off to bring the 2 pieces together. If you are working along with the video, of course you can rewind to see all of these steps in detail. So I've come to the end of sewing the other half now. So just to show you how to bring the 2 pieces together. So obviously I used 1 piece of thread, so I'm going to pull this half tight now to bring those 2 pieces together and then form the ruched bottom on the second half. And then once you've got that nice and tight, again like before, I'm just going to go in through that last corner just to hold it in place so we don't lose that ruche. I'm going to go through a couple of times, and then I'm going to go through to bring them both together, so flipping it over onto the underside. I'm going to close these 2 pieces in, so going in through the piece that I've just come out of and back through the other half, and I'm going to do that a couple of times, and that will just close in those 2 halves. I'm going to do a stitch in the middle as well, so making sure they're lined up at the bottom, I'm going to go through the middle as well, just to bring in those 2 halves together. And before I pull it completely tight, I'm going to go through that loose loop a couple of times to form a knot, to hold it all in place, so I can trim off the excess thread. If you want, you can just make the 2 halves separately and then hot glue them together, it's up to you. But as you can see, you've got those opposite colours. That is the look that I wanted. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it in these 3 pastel colours. So now we're ready to add our clip and our centre strip. So I've already got a clip here, and I've lined it with some matching ribbon. So I've used the pink satin ribbon. You don't have to line your clips. This is just something that I like to do. And this clip is a 55mm toothed clip. Everything that I use in this video I will link in the description below. The clips, the ribbon, everything that I use will all be linked down below. So we're going to use hot glue now to attach this clip to the underside of the bow. So just popping some hot glue on there and then sticking it under the bow, making sure it's central. And then I've also got another 1cm piece, which I actually cut from the pink satin ribbon, and this is to wrap the centre. So I've heat sealed the raw edges already. I'm going to apply some hot glue on one end, stick it under the clip, central to the hair bow. It doesn't matter too much because I am going to add a rhinestone centre to this, so it doesn't have to be too neat. I'm just going to pop a little bit of hot glue across that join just to make sure that the central join keeps covered by the ribbon. And then I'm going to go around again for the second time, so wrapping it back round under the clip, back over the top, and then finishing on the underside. I'm just going to trim off the excess ribbon. You just need about 1 centimetre to be able to fit under the clip. I just cut off that excess ribbon, heat sealed the end, and now I'm going to stick that last end down under the clip. And then I'm going to use one of my handmade rhinestone centres for the middle now. So this is the rhinestone and pearl centre that I'm going to add to the centre. And what I also like to do, because these can come out of place, I also like to add a tiny little bit of glue just under each layer, just to hold that nice and evenly spaced. Again, that's optional, but that is just a little extra that I like to do. So applying my rhinestone and pearl centre, I'm going to add the glue to this bottom. It's got a felt bottom, so it sticks really well with hot glue. So sticking that now over the centre, making sure it's stuck down, especially at the ends. I like to make sure the ends in particular are stuck down because that keeps it nice and snug and prevent it from coming loose. So grabbing a little bit more glue, I'm just going to run it along those very ends and then just push that into the glue to make sure it's stuck down well. The same on the other side. Again, I have got some tutorials on how you can make your own pearl and rhinestone centres. I will pop the playlist up in the top right hand corner now. Isn't that gorgeous? And now we're going to add the glue to these loops just to prevent them from coming apart. So I'll just show you on a couple. So I just pull them apart, add a tiny little dot of hot glue just on there, and then tuck it in so it's about halfway underneath. And then do the same on the lilac piece, so untucking it from the blue piece, adding a tiny little dab of hot glue, and then just pushing it down under the blue piece, and then when you've got it in line, pushing the blue piece down into that glue, and that will just hold that in place to hold a lovely bow shape. Do the same on the other side, and there is the finished hair bow in those gorgeous 3-colour pastel satin ribbons. Isn't that beautiful? And I'll just show you the plain one so you can see that it looks absolutely beautiful in plain ribbon also. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you press the bell button, that will turn on notifications. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to get back to you. And again, everything that I've used in this video is all linked in the description below. Thanks for watching everyone. Bye!